First, what does crying in dreams have to do with shadow work, shadow integration, right? That shadow integration that leads to self integration or self mastery, if you prefer, psychological wholeness. Tears free up libido, right? The life force or vital energy that is bound up in the unconscious. Libido or psychic energy, if you prefer, is something analogous to or similar to the Tao, the Logos, the Geist, Chi, Spirit, Mana, Prana, willed power, Wille zum Leben, that's one of my favorites, will to life, or Viktor Frankl's will to meaning, psychologically and at the level of the individual, right? That's what the libido is similar to, very similar, not identical by any stretch of the imagination, but tears purify, right? They wash away the old and make way for the new. They renew, they reflect, they heal, and they reveal. It is wise to listen closely to the voice of your tears because they're perhaps the purest, most honest expression of your inner self. For those of you doing shadow work, shadow integration, your tears play a vital role in healing and becoming whole. Von Buchholz, however you say that, in Tears, Connection to the Source, this Jungian analyst said, the healing power of tears is an archetypal theme. In the fairy tale by the same name, Rapunzel's salty tears wash over her husband's blinded eyes, curing him, restoring his sight. At times, the one shedding the tears is healed, as was Mary Magdalene, who washed Jesus' feet with her tears. Both Rapunzel's prince and Mary Magdalene were made whole again. And they provide a salty access road to what is more than skin deep. Jungians understand life through images, whether these images present themselves in dreams or during waking hours. These images, understood as symbols, establish a connection between consciousness, the house of the ego, and the deeper layers of the personal and or collective unconscious, home of the complexes and archetypes. Libido, precious life energy, it is rooted in and wells up from the unconscious. That is why we so need to have communications and creative interplay between these two psychic spheres. Much of our life energy is tied up with the shadow, personal as well as collective, and it is out of eyesight. Following our individual trail of tears, allowing feelings to bubble up into consciousness is the only chance we have of avoiding the destructive, shadowy aspect of emotions. And it's not just tears that do this. Anytime water leaves the body, it symbolizes and literally is purification or washing away. So think about it. Tears, sweat, menstruation, urination, vomiting, the water breaking, and birth fluids, purification, washing away of the old, making way for the new. But let's stick to tears for now. Tears are the healing salt river of your soul, your unconscious, and your shadow, carrying and washing away the weight of grief, stress, guilt, sorrow, and other forms of pain, right? That's the purpose of tears, at least in part. Tears are salt water. And the symbolism of salt is incredibly important to understanding why we cry, what tears mean. Consider the symbolism of salt in ancient times. Salt in ancient times was incredibly valuable, first off. It was used for a number of things, mainly preservation, purification, healing, flavoring, of course, and to enhance soil fertility, to bring more life and abundance from the potential of the earth. The salt water of tears represents the purification, healing, preservation, and enhancement of the psyche, the soul. They can bring greater potential and new life from the fertile soil of the psyche, the heart, and the unconscious especially. In our sorrow and suffering, as in our joy and flourishing, we feel intensely alive. Maybe not always, but generally, because we are. Think of all of the libido, the psychic energy, that vital energy, the life force that was bound up in the unconscious, that is freed up and released, and it becomes accessible and usable and in a powerful way through the salty highway of your tears. We see the archetypal symbolic patterns of salt healing in many scriptures. Healing and purifying, right? Salt was used as a symbol of purity in sacrificial offerings in Leviticus. The prophet Elisha uses salt to purify the water at Jericho, right? To make it drinkable, right? Salt doesn't actually do that. In real life, this was a miraculous event. The salt was used because it is a symbol of purification, of purity and healing. Newborns were traditionally washed with water and rubbed with salt in a cleansing purification ritual. Right? There's a reason your body rewards you when you cry or weep. And, well, there's multiple reasons, right? There's multiple purposes. But just take a step back for a moment. Let's describe the three types of tears. There are reflex tears and continuous tears, right? Think of the tears that well up when you cut an onion or get smoke in your eyes, right? These wash away the things like dust, debris, and irritants. Third, you have emotional tears. These wash away stress hormones and other toxins, flushing them out of our system. Your body is also flooded with oxytocin and endorphins, right? Endogenous opioids, actually. You feel that that good feeling, right? That relief, and oftentimes even a form of warmness or pleasure that you get when you cry, right? That's what those are. That's what those do. It dampens the blow of your loss or realization or whatever it is as the dam breaks and the pent up stress washes away. We associate tears with sorrow and grief. For a good reason, right? But just like the pattern of baptism, the flood, and crossing the Jordan River, crossing the waters, passing through the waters, and just like the water breaking and flowing during birth, flowing out in birth, the end result of crying, of tears, is often healing and joy and even new life. It marks a transition oftentimes and a transcending, right? In some cases, many cases. Think about a pool of water. What do you see when you look at it? Your reflection. Tears, that is the salt water, aka sea, that pours out of the windows to your soul, reflect your inner state, even the tumultuous sea of your unconscious mind. Carl Jung thought modern man's true illness was our loss of soul. Perhaps we can bind back split off parts of ourselves on the bitter salt road of our tears. This would mean inviting all of our emotions into consciousness. Senior Jungian analyst Adolf Guggenbull-Craig once said to me that the function of analysis is to live life more passionately, with occasional periods of reflection. Right? Tears reflect. To cleanse. This is another purpose of tears, to cleanse, to wash away the old self, to make way for the new, just like baptism, just like the flood, washing away the old kingdom so that the new kingdom can replace it. It washes away the dead or no longer useful parts of us, the parts of the body that don't fit the ideal, the good, the correct, healthy bodily identity. And tears renew. Right? They complete and reset the cycle, right? They're like spring after winter. To purify, wash away unhealthy parts of you. That's what tears do. That's the purpose of tears. And so what's the takeaway? The takeaway is not just to pay attention to your tears, to listen closely to the voice of that salt water pouring out of the windows to your soul, but take action. Right? Ask yourself whenever you cry, especially when you weep, the difference between a little cry and a weeping session or whatever you want to call it. That's telling you something incredibly important. So you ask yourself, what am I telling myself? What is my body telling me? What is my soul telling me? What is my unconscious mind telling me right now? And make sure that you answer that question as accurately as you can. And then take action on it. Do what you need to solve whatever problem is revealed through the washing of your tears. Sometimes it's going to be as simple as just cry, just to let yourself experience these emotions, right? That may be all you need to do. But then oftentimes there's a message, right, that your self is trying to make you aware of. And you definitely want to take action on that, right? To solve whatever the problem is that your heart is presenting to you, right? Your heart is presenting to your mind to solve, right? The posing of the question, the riddle. That is the meaning of crying, of tears, right? If you have a dream, if you wake up sobbing, you wake up crying, this hopefully can give you a little bit of insight into what those tears mean, what your soul is trying to tell you through your dream. All right, that's all I have for you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.